Back in December, this woman shared a story with me about post separation abuse. Her ex husband is military, and he was using the custody arrangement as a way to still get back at her because he could no longer physically abuse her. So she shared the story with me, and she has an update to the story, but it's been so long, so I'll just redo the story. She says, "Good morning, Burb. I first off want to thank you and thank you for all the good work that you're doing. You are speaking on the topics that women need to be made aware of. After being a longtime follower, I feel that the timing is right to share my story. You have given me the courage to talk to a topic I have firsthand experience of the hell that these situations can become. Time is a thief, but also hindsight is a gift. I can truly say that after decades of analyzing, overthinking, and re examining every scenario in my mind, I know that there was not one thing that I could have done differently. I was young, naive, and in love, but I know that there were not glaringly obvious red flags at the beginning. The red flags that I see playing out with young women who were once in my shoes, the difference was I was young and the same age as my ex, not a 15-year age difference. I want to hug these young women, shake them, and help them get some sense. We're trying to help women see these red flags sooner. We don't have to shake, but we do have to continue to have these discussions. Sadly, with the gift of hindsight, I could see all of the facts and still have the ability to connect the dots and still have little to no power to help and fix anything. It is an impossible place to be in. I'm going to try to keep this to a reasonable length for a story. The topic I want to speak on is something that is not talked about enough. It is the aftermath of post separation abuse. I have been living an unimaginable hell for over 8 years. Most think that once you leave the abuse, it ends and all is well. When in all actuality, it just gets worse. My children and I were able to leave the daily abuse after 12 years, but then it just continued in the form of harassment and financial abuse. I can't go into the gory details as there are still criminal charges and I'm unable to speak on things until things have gone through the proper channels. My daily life before I left was a constant state of survival mode. I was constantly on edge trying to protect myself from unwanted actual advances, and some of which I had no control over. Once I left and visitation began to occur without me, the focus of the direct abuse focused on my children. Not only did this manifest in a physical, mental, and emotional abuse, it also sadly ended up in SA for the children as well. This constant state of post separation abuse, which has resulted in over $100,000 of debt in legal lawyers' fees, constant unnecessary filings with the court to waste money and time, anything to avoid the inevitable. I have reached the end of my rope. I have nothing else to be able to keep this nonsense going. I have retainers I need to replenish for lawyers. I have evaluations of which I do not have the magic funds to pull from. I have to file bankruptcy because I have exhausted every option I have. My poor husband works so incredibly hard for our family. I spend my days driving kids to constant therapies due to the trauma they have experienced. We are a family of 6 in a 5-seater car that needs major repairs. I feel like I'm barely able to keep my head above water. This mama is exhausted, embarrassed, and feeling helpless. I can't even provide the Christmas my children deserve. This was never the place I wanted to be. I have worked way too hard to not be able to provide the life my children deserve, all because a predator cannot take accountability for the monster that they are. So that's what she told me back in December. And like she said, she's left this man 12 years. So, like she said, she left after dealing with this man for 12 years. And a lot of people say, just leave, just leave. Well, sometimes when there are children, there's still some connection. And since this man is military, he was still able to skirt some of the accountability. He wasn't paying child support. So her life got even harder because of the constant harassment. And people are like, go to court, tell them what happened. The court was not really listening to these people. They were not taking this mother into account. And I'm totally sure that being in the military afforded him special treatment that other people might not have gotten. Anyways, that was December. She's now come into right now, and she's finally going to court, and it seems like maybe she's getting some traction. So here we are right now, today. Her ex, who still receives full military pay, manipulated the court to avoid paying child support, convincing a judge to let him pay directly, and then he simply stopped paying. She hasn't seen a single payment in months, and she's raising 6 children on her own, and she's in survival mode. But this October, her ex will face a court martial at the U.S. Army base on over 30 criminal charges, including 12 counts of SA of a child. So she's still standing, but just barely. She's out of funds. Her car's falling apart. Her children need dental care, clothes for school, and she's working towards adoption because, like she says, she is currently married now, but they only have one car, and they are still fighting all of these legal fees that caused her to have to file for bankruptcy. She does have a GoFundMe right now. I've already shared some of this story when I was reading the story at first, but she says, I'm fighting for a permanent protective order, preparing to adopt my children into a safe and stable family, and managing all of this without child support, despite the fact that their father is still receiving full military pay. He has carefully weaponized the legal system for years to maintain control, creating constant filings, delays, and unnecessary costs. This strategy has drained me financially and emotionally. The court battles never stopped. They just changed form. Now that criminal charges are finally moving forward, the pressure on our household is greater than ever. So they do need help. If you do have anything that you could give, she has this GoFundMe, and I will make sure to put the link in the description, and it'll be the pinned comment on this post. So just donate if you have $5, if you have any dollars, or share the GoFundMe.